What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday, so today's segment, of course, is Way Back Wednesday, and that's where I look at a deck from in the past format. Today we're going to look at Christopher Can. I think that's how you say his last name, maybe Khan. It's K-A-N, so I'm not 100% sure how to say that. But this is winning deck list from 2011. It's called Reshiram. It focuses around Typhlosion and Reshiram. So let's get into these two cards. Basically, these are the only Pokemon it plays. It could play Cleffa, maybe Ninetales, but he decided to go straight Reshiram, Typhlosion, just straight consistency with the Pokemon. So it plays a 4-1-4 Typhlosion, and I'll go with what Typhlosion does. Cynical and Qualiva doesn't really matter that much. But here's Typhlosion. Now here's the thing about Typhlosion Afterburner. Once during your turn before you attack, you may search your discard pile for a fire energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. But if you do this, you put one damage counter on that Pokemon. And you can only use that once per turn. So with each Typhlosion. So each Typhlosion could do Afterburn. You could do 3 Afterburners and attach them to a Reshiram. But the downfall is you do put 3 damage counters or 2 damage counters, depending on how many times you Afterburner, to a Reshiram. And then also, Typhlosion has an attack called Flare Destroy, which does 70 damage, and you discard an energy attached to Typhlosion, and discard an energy attached to defending Pokemon. I have seen people attack a lot with Typhlosion, so he's kind of a good attacker too, as a late game kind of attacker. And let's go Reshiram, just in case you don't know, if people who don't know what that does. Its first attack, Outrage, it does 20, and then plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on Typhlosion, on Reshiram. So as you put damage counters on Reshiram with Afterburn, you can actually use Outrage to knock out Pokemon. But the main attack here is Blue Flare for 2 fire and colors to do 120 damage, and you discard 2 fire energy attached to Reshiram. Now that's why Typhlosion kind of comes into play. After you discard the 2 fires, you just kind of Afterburn and back them onto the Reshiram, and then you can Blue Flare again for the knockout. So that's basically the only Pokemon in this deck, and that's all you really need to use. So we'll go over some supporters and trainers, stuff that we haven't been over. So Energy Retrieval, it's in our new format too. Energy Retrieval, you put 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. Just another way to get energies out of the discard pile, so you can attach them to your Pokemon. Next up is Junk Arm. We've seen it before in the last video. You discard 2 cards from your hand, search your discard pile for a trainer card, show it to your opponent, put it into your hand. Now, this deck does play a lot of trainer cards. You get the plus power, you get rare candy, maybe communication, revive. For the most part, you want to try to get rare candies and plus powers. Now, plus power is a card that we haven't seen really yet. Plus power, when you attach during this turn, your Pokemon's attack do 10 more damage to the active Pokemon. Back then, Magnezone was kind of a big Pokemon, and Reshiram itself was kind of a big Pokemon, or these 130 HP Pokemon. Magnezone did have 140, so the way to hit those magic numbers is you would plus power to these Reshirams, or just plus power in general, and then you can do 130, and then if you jump off for another plus power, you can do 140. So it's kind of a way to boost up your damage output. Next up, Pokegear. It's kind of like Random Receiver, if it can have the closest thing I can think to it in our format right now. So Pokegear, you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose the supporter you find in there, show it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. So it's kind of a way to look for a supporter. But obviously, the difference from Random Receiver is this is Random Receiver, you flip over to you find a supporter. Pokegear, you look at the top 7, and if you have a supporter, take one. So if you didn't have a supporter, it'd be kind of bad, but most times this deck does play a lot of supporters, as you can see. Next up, Pokemon Communication. It's kind of weird that he only plays 2. I would think he plays 4, but I guess discarding them using Junk Arm to get communications back is pretty good. But you reveal a Pokemon in your hand, put it on top of your deck, and if you do this, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So it's kind of like finding the missing pieces. I think I showed this in the last video. I'm pretty positive I did. But you can like communication away a Quilava, and then get a Typhlosion. Then you can, of course, like a rare candy into a Typhlosion. And of course, rare candy, choose a base Pokemon in play. If you have a stage 2 card in your hand that evolves from this Pokemon, put that card on that base Pokemon. So basically, you just rare candy from Cyndaquil to Typhlosion. But just like the rules now, you do have to wait a turn before you actually rare candy. Next up is Revive. So basically, Revive, you put a basic Pokemon from discard pile into your bench. It's pretty self-explanatory. If a Reshiram got knocked out, you just revive, put it back onto your bench. That's pretty much it. Or maybe Cyndaquil if you need to. Now here's a sport I know I didn't go over. Energies and Engineer's Adjustments. You discard an energy card from your hand, then draw 4 cards. So, like I said earlier, Afterburn is you get a fire energy from the discard pile attached to one of your Pokemon. But Engineer's Adjustments kind of helps you put fires in the discard pile and draw 4 cards, which is pretty useful. Also, you can put fire in the discard with Junk Arm too. It's kind of the 2 ways you can get Pokemon or fire energies in the discard. There's other ways too, and I'll go over them in a second. Pokemon Collector, I showed in the last video. Search your deck up to 3 basic Pokemon, show them and put in your hand. Just a quick way to get Cyndaquils out. And the thing with 3 Pokegear, you can Pokegear and have a good chance of hitting a Collector. So it's kind of like you have 7 chances of getting a Collector turn 1, which is what you kind of want to always start with. Next up is Professor Elms. So you search your deck for an evolution card, show it to your opponent, put it in your hand. Now he only plays 1. Supposedly it was there for being under trainer lock, but then if he was under trainer lock, why didn't he play more Coil Lava? I know it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure why it's like that, but I don't know. You can, I guess when you don't have communication, you can use Elms to get a Typhlosion and or Coil Lava. Next up, Professor Juniper. We all know what that does. Discard your hand, draw 7. Professor Oak, shuffle your hand and draw 6. Sage, I think we went over it last time, but I'll go over it one more time. So you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose any 2 cards you find in there and put them into your hand. Discard the other cards. So if you draw 5 cards and like 3 are fire and 2 are something else, you would keep the other 2 cards and discard the 3 fire. Just another way of powering up Afterburner. Same with Juniper. So these are, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 ways of putting energies in the discard. I obviously have Blue Fair with this, and if you need a treat, you can actually also get energies in the discard that way too. Next up is Rescue Energy. There's 2 of them in here. If a Pokemon is knocked out by damage from attack, that Pokemon goes back in your hand. Discard everything else. It's kind of just a nice way to save your Reshirams if you need to, so when they get knocked out, they go back in your hand instead of just going straight into the discard pile. But that's only if they get knocked out by attack. I can't think of anything that kind of went around it. Poison, but I can't remember anything that really poisoned back then. I know there might be something I'm missing. Maybe plus power? No, because that's still from an attack. It just boosts their attack. I don't know. Maybe burn? I don't know. And then next up we have 10 fire. So that's the deck list. It plays a lot of supporters trying to be super consistent. It only plays this Pokemon line, nothing really gimmicky like Ninetales and Cleffa. If you know those dude, you can look them up. Yeah, just look up Ninetales 2011 and pop up. You just use it to kind of get energy in the discard pile. Cleffa was, as you saw last time, was kind of like a supporter kind of Pokemon. But we'll go play this deck and show what it's like. Hopefully we can get a good match with it. I've been kind of playing around with it, trying to get used to it. Also, thanks to Zamora for letting me borrow his Typhlosions. If you know who he is, go give him a high 5 for letting me borrow them. Because I only had 2, and he let me borrow 2 of them. So, nice fella. He's from St. Louis Regionals. Not St. Louis Regionals. He's from the St. Louis area, but I will see him at St. Louis Regionals. He'll probably be commentating for Vince, which would be nice. Maybe he will. I don't know if he's going really hard for his invite or not. Oh, we see a grass deck. If this is a straight grass deck, we pretty much are going to auto win this. Unless I have really bad draws. So let's see here. Heads. Of course, he'll probably want to go first. There's no way we can attack turn 1. So here we get a Cyndaquil, 3 out of 4 Junipers. That's not good. So a Venusaur. Alright. Did we see Venusaur last time? Way back Wednesday? 2 Venusaurs. Oh man, we're playing against Chris Full up here. Oh man. So this Venusaur can knock me out. Okay, well that's not going to. Okay, we don't have to worry about that anymore. We're gonna get a Reshiram. Just to start attaching fire energy to him. And we'll just Juniper everything away. Not so bad. What do I want to discard here? we'll discard the fire. And I'm scared he's going to attach DC and knock out my Cyndaquil, so that's what I'm kind of worried about. Discard the fire and the plus power to get back to communication, and we'll communicate the Typhlosion in to get another Cyndaquil. And we will just pass here. Hopefully he doesn't have the DC and we can save the Cyndaquil from being knocked out. But if not, that will be okay. So there's a Reshiram. Doesn't really matter. There's the DC like I was talking to. Listen, bye bye Cyndaquil. What's his second attack do? 90 and heal 30. Okay. We might be in a bad position. Okay, so we draw into a Sages, which is kind of nice. So let's see what our 5 cards are. Alright, we're keeping Typhlosion for sure. So we can get the knockout this turn, which is going to be really nice. We'll get a Sages again. So here we'll rare candy 2 Typhlosion. We'll attach a rescue energy, and we'll play this revive, getting this Cyndaquil. And here we'll afterburner for 1. And now we will blue flare for 240, knocking it out. Now next turn he can't attack because both his Pokemon take 2 energy to attack. So kind of had the perfect matchup playing against this fire deck. But turn 2, was it turn 2? Yeah, turn 2 blue flares. Always pretty nice. This is kind of how the deck kind of runs though. Kind of just really consistent. So he attaches a grass energy to the Reshiram. Doesn't matter that he's playing Plasma Blast cards and everything like that. He's getting beat up on by these old decks. I'm just gonna Oak here, see if I can get a rare candy. No, that's not what I need. Okay, but I still can attach a fire, afterburner, a fire onto this Reshiram, and now we'll do another blue flare for 240, knocking him out. And next turn we'll just do the same thing, attach a fire, afterburner to it, and knock it out. Unless there's a way he can knock it out my Reshiram, which doesn't seem like he has a way. Interviews question. I've seen that card. I haven't seen that in a long time. There's a lot of energies. Alright. Sorry, Venusaur. Sorry, Chris, pull up. Your deck's not shiny today. But here we go, just afterburner. Not dark. Fire here. And we will blue flare for knockout. So there you go. That's how the Reshiram Typhlosion deck works. Kind of nice that we got paired up against a straight grass deck to show the true, I guess not true, but how powerful the deck is, especially when I'm swinging 240 damage and I got these EXs. But thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. Next week I'll have actual real gameplay videos. Saturday I'm going to a friend's house to record some World Deck videos. So if you have any suggestions on what World Deck videos you want to see first, I think the only one he's missing is like 2006. There's another year I can't remember right now. I know for sure he's missing 2006, which is like the Lugia, all that's the Lugia year. If that's the right year or not, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But he has the majority of the other ones. So if you have one that you want to see first, leave down below in the comments, and I'll pick whichever one has like the most, I guess, most comments or the most likes or whatever. The way it works on YouTube. But like I said, thanks for watching. Like the video, please subscribe, leave suggestions down below, and have a great day. Alrighty, bye.